If she says this, dump her immediately. Have you ever wondered what certain phrases or behaviors in a relationship might actually be signaling? Could they be red flags you should not ignore? Relationships, much like a game of chess, require careful observation and strategic moves. Yet, unlike chess, the stakes are much higher. The game involves not just your time, but your emotions, your trust, and sometimes your sanity. Recognizing the red flags early on might save you from a world of heartache and wasted time. But what are these red flags? They could be anything from subtle comments to glaringly obvious behaviors. They are the warning signs that something isn't quite right. The alarm bells that ring when your partner says or does something that makes you question their intentions. In this video, we will delve into these red flags, specifically focusing on phrases that, if uttered by your partner, should make you reconsider your relationship. So stay tuned, because what you learn today might just save your tomorrow. The first red flag phrase is, "You're too sensitive." Now, this might seem like a harmless comment at first glance, but let's delve a little deeper. It's a phrase that, when used repeatedly, can become a tool for manipulation, invalidating your feelings and experiences. Imagine this. You're upset about something your partner has done or said, and you muster up the courage to express your feelings. But instead of validation, empathy, or even an apology, you're met with, "You're too sensitive." This phrase, in essence, dismisses your emotions, making you question if you're overreacting or being unreasonable. This is a classic example of gaslighting, a form of emotional abuse. Gaslighting is a manipulative tactic where a person, to gain more power, makes a victim question their reality. It's a slow form of brainwashing that can make you doubt your sanity. It's like being in a foggy town where you can't see your own hand in front of your face. You're filled with confusion, second-guessing, and self-doubt. When someone you're close to says, "You're too sensitive," they're essentially saying that your feelings aren't valid. It's as if they're saying you don't have the right to feel the way you do. But remember, your feelings are your own. They're real and they're valid. No one else gets to dictate how you should feel. If your partner uses this phrase often, it's a sign that they're trying to control how you perceive their actions and your reactions. They're trying to mold your reality to suit their narrative. This can lead to a vicious cycle where you start suppressing your feelings and doubts, affecting your self-esteem and mental health. So, what should you do if you find yourself in this situation? Start by standing your ground. Assert that your feelings are valid and that it's okay to be upset or hurt. Seek support from trusted friends or a professional. And most importantly, remember that it's okay to walk away from the relationship that diminishes your worth. Never allow anyone to belittle your feelings. Everyone has a right to their emotions. The second red flag phrase is, "My ex was crazy." Now, you might initially think, well, aren't some exes genuinely crazy? And yes, that could be true. But when you're getting to know someone and they're quick to label their ex as crazy, it's time to take a step back and consider what this might mean. Firstly, this phrase could indicate a lack of accountability. If a person is always blaming their ex for everything that went wrong in their previous relationship, they're essentially saying they had no part in the breakup. They're painting themselves as the innocent party, the victim, the one who was wronged. But relationships, like a dance, take two. It's hardly ever just one person's fault. So, if they're not willing to acknowledge their role in the relationship's failure, they're probably not ready to learn from their mistakes or grow. Secondly, the phrase, "My ex was crazy," might also be a subtle form of gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of manipulation where one person makes the other question their own perception, memory, or sanity. By labeling their ex as crazy, they might be trying to undermine the ex's credibility, making it harder for you to trust anything the ex might say about them. Lastly, consider this. How they talk about their ex might be a preview of how they'll talk about you if things don't work out. If they're quick to label their ex as crazy, it's not a stretch to think they might do the same to you. This kind of disrespectful language shows a lack of maturity and empathy. So the next time you hear, "My ex was crazy," don't just brush it off. It might be a sign of deeper issues, like a lack of accountability, manipulative behavior, or disrespect. Listen to your gut, ask questions, seek the truth. Remember, there are always two sides to every story. The third red flag phrase is, if you loved me, you would. This phrase, my friends, is a classic, a go-to in the manipulator's handbook. It's a phrase that, on the surface, seems innocent enough, like a request for proof of affection. But dig a little deeper, and you'll see it for what it truly is. A manipulative tactic, a guilt trip, a power play. Let's dissect this, shall we? When someone says, if you loved me, you would, they're essentially putting your love for them on trial. They're questioning your feelings, making you doubt if your love is genuine because you're not willing to do something they want. And that, dear listeners, is emotional manipulation. This phrase is often used to pressure someone into doing something they may not be comfortable with. It's a way of saying, prove your love by doing this for me. But love, true love, is not about proving anything. It's not about jumping through hoops or passing tests. It's about mutual respect, understanding, and acceptance. Moreover, this phrase is a red flag because it's a form of emotional blackmail. It guilt trips the partner, making them feel as though they're in the wrong, that they're the bad guy for not doing what's asked of them. But remember, in a healthy relationship, you should never feel pressured or guilted into doing something you don't want to. And let's not forget, this phrase creates an imbalance of power in the relationship. It's a control mechanism, a way for the manipulator to wield power over their partner. But love is not about control. It's about equality, about being partners who support and uplift each other. So, if you hear the phrase, if you loved me, you would, be cautious. It's a red flag, a sign of manipulation and control. True love is about respect and understanding, not manipulation and control. The fourth red flag phrase is, I can't live without you. This phrase, as romantic as it may sound in our favorite songs or movies, can be a sign of an unhealthy relationship in real life. It's a statement that reeks of dependency and can be a precursor to emotional blackmail. When someone says, I can't live without you, it often means they're placing their happiness, well-being, and even their survival on you. It's as if you're the air they breathe, the food they eat, the water they drink. Sounds intense, right? That's because it is. This kind of dependency isn't about love, it's about control. It's about making you feel responsible for them, which can lead to you compromising your own needs, wants, and boundaries to keep them happy. Imagine being in a relationship where you're constantly walking on eggshells, afraid that any wrong move might shatter your partner's world. That's not love, that's a hostage situation. It's exhausting and unfair, and it's not a burden anyone should have to bear in a relationship. This kind of emotional dependency can also lead to emotional blackmail. The phrase, I can't live without you, can easily turn into, if you leave me, I don't know what I'll do. This is a manipulative tactic designed to make you feel guilty about wanting to leave, even if the relationship is unhealthy for you. It's a way of shifting the blame from them to you, making you the bad guy for wanting to put your own happiness and well-being first. A healthy relationship consists of two independent individuals who love and care for each other, but also understand and respect each other's autonomy. They're two complete people who choose to be together because they enrich each other's lives, not because they can't function without the other. They support each other, but they also give each other the space to grow and be their own person. They're not two halves trying to make a whole, they're two wholes making something even greater together. Remember, love isn't about dependency, it's about mutual respect, understanding, and growth. So, the next time someone tells you, I can't live without you, take a step back and evaluate the situation. Is it romantic love or manipulative control? You deserve a relationship that respects your individuality and promotes your personal growth. A healthy relationship consists of two independent individuals who choose to be together, not two halves trying to make a whole. To wrap up, let's recap the red flag phrases we've discussed today. First, when someone tells you you're too sensitive, it's often a way to manipulate and dismiss your feelings. Second, the phrase, my ex was crazy, can be a sign the person is not taking responsibility for their part in a relationship's end. Thirdly, if you loved me, you would, is a classic manipulation tactic, using your feelings as a weapon to get what they want. Lastly, the phrase, I can't live without you, can signify an unhealthy dependency, which can lead to toxic dynamics. These phrases are not just words, they're red flags waving in the wind, signaling potential emotional pitfalls. Recognizing these red flags is crucial in safeguarding your emotional health and ensuring you're in a relationship for the right reasons. Remember, you deserve respect, understanding, and love. Don't settle for anything less.